How do you treat someone who watched you struggle, then returned when success kissed your feet? Chinadu had an answer, and it shocked everyone. Chinadu met Tina during his final year in college. She was beautiful, the kind that made even lecturers lose focus. They met at a campus fellowship event, not even planned, just one of those random moments when life writes its own script. At first, it felt like true love. Chinadu was a struggling engineering student who barely had enough to get by. But what he lacked in wealth, he made up for in devotion. Just to make Tina happy, he would walk long distances just to save transport money for her needs. Chinadu sold his only laptop, the one he used for school, just to buy Tina a birthday wig and a new phone. He couldn't really afford it, but he wanted to make her happy, even if it meant going without. On another occasion, he borrowed money from his roommate just to take her out on Valentine's Day. He could do anything for Tina. Yet, Tina's heart was never truly with him. Tina had other plans. She kept posting cryptic statuses like, "A man must be the provider," and "Broke men shouldn't fall in love." Chinadu ignored the signs. He told himself she was just venting, that things would get better when he graduated, that she loved him, just not loudly. But then came the day that changed everything. Chinadu went to visit Tina at her hostel one evening, carrying a small food flask he had cooked himself. He waited outside, ready to surprise her. But what he saw through her window crushed him completely. Tina was in the arms of another man, a tall, confident man who had just pulled up in a shiny black Mercedes with tinted windows. She kissed him openly, laughed loudly, and clung to him like he was her future. As they stepped outside and walked right past Chinadu, she didn't even blink. She looked straight ahead, as though Chinadu was a stranger, or worse, invisible. Chinadu said nothing. He didn't confront her. He didn't cause a scene. He simply walked away slowly and disappeared from her life. 2 years passed. Chinadu returned, but not as the man Tina had discarded. He had gotten into tech after graduation, taught himself programming, started a startup, then landed a foreign investor deal. Now he was a silent millionaire, but you wouldn't guess it by looking at him. No flashy cars, no designer chains. He still wore simple polo shirts and jeans, yet he now owned multiple tech companies in Lagos. He never boasted. He never posted quotes online. He just worked and helped people quietly. And you know the old woman who sold roasted corn beside his old shop. He built her a 2-bedroom house quietly and handed her the documents himself. As for Tina, he heard about her during a dinner hangout with some of his old college mates. One of them said casually, "Chinadu, you remember Tina? She sells baby clothes in Yaba now. She's pregnant too. The guy who got her pregnant ran off. Life really humbled her." Chinadu didn't say a word. But his eyes darkened, then softened. He excused himself early that night. 1 week later, Tina got a knock on her door. She was heavily pregnant and living in a cramped room behind a noisy market. At the door stood a well-dressed man with a black folder. He handed it to her and said, "You've been blessed by someone who still believes you deserve a second chance." Then he left. Inside the folder were a paid 1-year house rent for a clean apartment, ownership documents for a newly stocked business shop, 1 million naira in cash for her to start over, no sender name, no number, no message, just a quiet, life-changing rescue. Tina fell to the ground, weeping. She thought maybe God had remembered her. She had no idea it was Chinadu. Weeks later, Tina walked into a supermarket in Lekki to buy groceries, and that's when she saw him. Chinadu, sharp, calm, graceful. And beside him stood a stunning woman, his fiancée, who looked at him with so much love it could melt glass. Tina froze. Her heart pounded. She rushed to him. "Chinedu, please, I'm sorry for everything. I didn't know what I had back then. Can we at least talk?" Chinedu looked at her calmly. There was no anger on his face, just peace. "Tina," he said, "I forgave you a long time ago, but some pasts are not ours to rewrite." Then he gently took his fiancée's hand and walked away. Tina dropped to her knees right there in the aisle. She was pregnant, alone, ashamed, and heartbroken all over again. She never knew the second chance had come from him. And now she never will. He didn't insult her. He didn't post rants online. He didn't seek revenge. He leveled up and let karma speak. Sometimes the best revenge is simply becoming everything they thought you'd never be. This is Chinedu's story. And if it taught us anything, it's this: love smart, not blind. And don't burn bridges with the same hands that once fed you. Because life has a way of circling back when it's already too late.